The next thing we want to do, pull the pillars out to replace our tweeters. This one has a clip. There you go. It's really tight, like really tight. This is the clip what I'm talking about. Ends like this and then twists, and then the second one you kind of twist it twice, pull it out, then you just pull it carefully, pull the other side. We can do both at the same time. We're not gonna use the existing wire because we're going to run wire from the crossovers to the tweeters. Go to the bench. These tweeters actually snap in nice. Also, we're gonna put a little bit of foam on top of it. Tweeter is done. We put some quick disconnects.
Battery is in, zero gauge. As you saw, we had to pull this bucket out, mount the zero gauge fuse holder over on the side here, comes up, attaches. One thing you're gonna wanna do on these though, they powder coat these terminals now that this has to get connected to. You need to get rid of that powder coating. So you need to take a wire brush, you need to sand this whole thing off and make it silver again so you get good contact. They look like this. Bar that goes through, and then this top piece here, you need to make that all silver again, just like we did there. If you don't remove the powder coating, what can happen is the voltage loss, substantial voltage loss. We've ran into this problem before with F-150s as well as the Mustangs, and you gotta clean it off of everything. The way it works is there's two pieces that sit on top of one another and they slide over back and forth as you're tightening the bolt. If you don't remove the powder coating there, it never actually touches the battery terminal. Wire wheel, have some fun. Here we are back at the front corner of the car. We finally have all our wiring. Now we just need to get these wires hooked up. Plug in our amplifier, black plug. The brown plug is already plugged in. Plug in the other end of the T-harness. Soldered on some female RCAs. Plug in our male RCAs that we ran from the back. Also ran a remote turn on just in case. We always do that regardless of whose amplifier it is. Just saves us time down the road in case something goes wrong. What we have is our 6 speaker wires. These red 16 gauge here are going to be for the tweeters. The blacks are for the mid bass, and then the white and the gray are for the mid range. That means we're going to go up into here, and then these blacks we're going to have to solder into this harness here. What I want to do is slide some white and gray heat shrink over these just to differentiate them now that we're up here when I know where I'm going to cut them. The wiring is all set and ready to go. The only thing we got left are our tweeter wires. We have to run this one over to the passenger side. The other one will just plug in right up in here. We're pretty much done here. For woofers, he's going with the new R series woofer. On these woofers, they have this set of terminals here. This is a dual 2 ohm. What we're trying to get at the amplifier is a 2 ohm mono load. For that, we need 2 4 ohm drivers. This has 2 2 ohm voice coils. In the box, Alpine gives you these cool little jumpers right here that allow you to just like plug in like this and jump it so that now that's 4 ohms. You can also come in here like this. This would be the preferred method for me. I don't like to use these at all, only because I've had a bad experience with them. That's not to say that I haven't installed hundreds of them in the past. All it takes in my mind is 1 or 2 bad and I'm over it. It's so much easier just to do my own jumper. You could cut these 2 little terminals off and just use this piece of wire and make a jumper of your own. We're gonna take our box, we're gonna solder in some 12 gauge that's gonna clip into here. We'll screw these in. We also have grills that are gonna go on these because Alpine has this wonderful surround here that is a real pain in the butt to get on and off. They make these grills right here. So this is a fully insulated grill. This sits over it like this. This will keep that all protected. Depending on whether it's an R series or an S series, you have 2 different little clips. They're gonna go into the sides here. And of course it comes with the placards that is an R or an S. According to the instructions, if you're doing the R, you're gonna want the black ones. If you're doing the S, you're gonna want the white ones. And the main difference is the height. Come over here to the screw hole and you just kind of wiggle this guy in. See the little curve to it there? That's designed to contour to the grill and holds that grill, locks it in nice and tight. Once you're done with that, it comes with a new surround. What makes this one different is it has notches along the edges here for these guys, so it makes room for those. And then you just hammer it on, you put your sticker on, and you're all set. 12 gauge soldered into our speaker cup down in there, nice and secure. Little 10 gauge jumper here. And then Fernando's finishing up in here. We ran a 10 gauge back. Behind here, we soldered in 2 12 gauge. Coming out here, we're getting ready to put some ferrules on the end here to go into the speaker cup. Set the box in place. That way we could start tuning this thing. We're almost to the tuning point.
Almost.
We also need to get these side panels put back in before we start tuning too. Ooh, do you hear that? Do you know what that sound is? That's the sound of a speaker popping for a polarity test. You know what that means? What does that mean, Fernando?
Polarity check.
And what does that mean? We're almost
there.
Yeah.
To tune.
There you go. All right, we're all good. In a case like this where you can't really get in there, you can also do it from the back side. For example, if you come from the underside of the speaker, it should meter the opposite of what it would from the inside. The inside was reading green. From the back side of the speaker, we should be getting red, red, green, which we are. If we get that on both, then we know they're moving the right direction. Polarity test is done and good. We plugged in that guy right there. This blue cable here is the USB that plugs into the D4.800. If you're plugging in your D series or your DM or any one of the audio controls, as soon as you plug it into the laptop and launch the app, it's going to check the software version on it to make sure it's up to date. It's not up to date, let it run its updater software. Make sure that the app on the computer, make sure that's up to date, because they constantly update these things. You want to make sure you have the latest version of it. For those of you guys that have never seen the software before on the audio control, it basically has 3 views: input, output, and dashboard, which is a combination of these 2 here. The first view is going to be input. Input is going to do is, if you scroll down here, this is going to show you that you have signal. Turn the volume up. You can also increase or decrease the gain. Check the input coming into front. Go to output view. You can right click on it and put front. This is rear. You can call this sub because it's gonna be a sub output. Inputs 1 and 2, we're gonna feed them off of just the front inputs. If you wanted to, you could feed everything off of the front input. Channels 3 and 4, we want that to be rear only. On this side, this is your crossover. 1 and 2, we have that at 90. We'll decrease that to 80. Come back and check 3 and 4. We have our basic crossover set up here. Here's our EQ. Go to dashboard view. We have our input RTA here, and here's our output RTA. You can adjust the EQ here, and that'll affect the way this sounds, and this will change. Dashboard view is just a summary of everything we've done. It's an idea of what this thing can do for you. The cool thing is you can download this to your Windows or Mac. You can play with it all you want to get an idea, get a feel for this. We are done in the trunk. Everything nice, mounted, put back together. Covers are on the amplifiers. The only thing left to do, put the floor in. We're gonna slide the woofers forward, find out where they sit in here, fold the seats up. We'll mark this, we'll put a brace there so that this doesn't slide around in the trunk. Marked it with the grease pencil, that stuff washes right out. So we know where the box needs to sit. Pull this back out. We're gonna take a piece of plastic like this that's thick. We'll screw that down from underneath so that the box will push up against this, but if you need to get it out, all you have to do is lift the box up and it'll slide out. So there's the brace screwed in place. That'll keep the box from sliding around. Nice and solid. Yeah. This is an awesome sounding system. There's no question about it. I got nothing else. You got anything?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. This is nice. This almost makes me want to buy a Mustang so I can put a three-way set up front. I love this.
Yeah.
The factory three-way. Yeah. Well, totally teasing me.
But no.
But no. All right, guys. Fernando?
All right, guys. So, on to the next one.
Bingo. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.